Listen to the sound of footsteps in the dark, to voices that may not be quite human, to the sound of screams in the night. The Haunted Cabaret, the home of all things horror, on Rhode Island FreeRadio.org, with your host, George Garner. The Haunted Cabaret starts now.
I can't forget you for your surprise.
All right, that was, of course, Black Sabbath, Sweet Leaf off the Master of Reality album. Opening up another episode of the Haunted Cabaret here on Rhode Island Free Radio. I'm your host, George Garner, as usual. Also, as usual, across the table from me, Chuckles the Clown.
Good evening, thank you.
To my left, Nurse Misery. To my right, our producer, Tony Jones. And if there's anything behind me, it is supernatural, but I am surrounded.
And we will gladly let you on air.
Yes, maybe it's the ghost of H.P. Lovecraft behind me that I feel chastising me for not showing up at Necronomicon, the biannual Lovecraft Love Fest in downtown Providence. But I don't apologize. I have been an admirer of the work of H.P. Lovecraft all my life, at least from the time I was 8 years old, and my mother mistakenly got me a book of H.P. Lovecraft stories, thinking it was local culture, which it was, not realizing the subject matter of Mr. Lovecraft, which included sex with amphibians and, assorted other horrors. So thank you, Ma.
Now, I noticed when you said Necronomicon,
yes,
you emphasized the con.
I did. Well, I emphasized the con only to differentiate it from Lovecraft's Book of Black Magic, which would be Necronomicon.
Which, by the way, Necronomicon had some $400 options for this past weekend, and their $400 options sold out.
Wow.
Isn't that nice? And
How many 400 options were there, though? If there were only 10, I'm not impressed.
What were the $400 options? Like taking turns anal raping the corpse of H.P. Lovecraft? What?
That was $450.
Yeah. And the hideous, unspeakable, to use one of Lovecraft's favorite words, the unspeakable and unthinkable and all those other adjectives part of this is that this convention is to supposedly honor the memory of a man who never had more than, a couple of dollars in his pocket his whole life.
Was lucky.
I mean, Lovecraft was a guy who basically was unacquainted with money. He lived at the mercy of friends while he wrote those stories that made him famous and gave rise to all the parasites down there, and that's what some of them are. Now, look, I understand. I was there 2 years ago. I participate in Lovecraft events from time to time, but it's become an industry. It's kind of like when I said before the show, it's kind of like the zombies that I'm fed up with ever since I saw the bumper sticker on the soccer mom van that said, "I heart zombies." We're at that point with, Cthulhu and the rest. They're trying to make it warm, cuddly, and acceptable. And if H.P. Lovecraft saw what was going on with his creations, actually, I think Lovecraft would be amused. I mean, that's because he had such a low opinion of humanity that if you brought him to the latest H.P. Lovecraft convention and he just mingled with them for a while, he would just go home with his negative, low view of humanity.
Write a new story?
Justified. Yeah. Actually, he would write a new. That's what he would do. He would write. He would say, "Damn, I have a lot more subject matter than I did before I came here."
Yeah. Thanks for the inspiration, losers.
Yeah, that's basically what would happen. But I'll tell you, we name names on this show, don't we?
We do.
We do.
Yeah, we call you out.
Yeah. St. Joshi.
Oh, no.
Chuck, you remember I've trashed this man in the past.
You have.
This guy, a self-professed Lovecraft scholar, and when I say parasite, this is the guy that first comes to mind. Now, I don't even know if I assume he was at the convention because there's not a major Lovecraft function that he doesn't show up at to hawk his wares. The man has written more books about Lovecraft than Christians have written about Jesus. This man, if Lovecraft had never existed, St. Joshi, actually,
living in a van down by the river.
Thank you, Tony. Yes, I think actually Tony's on a roll tonight. I think every time I want to put somebody down really effectively on this hour, I'm just going to create radio silence and let Tony fill it in. But yeah. So St. Joshi,
I mean, now don't get me wrong. I've said before, I have a lot of respect for the biography he wrote of Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft, A Life. It's full of facts. This man is great when it comes to just the facts. Where this happened, where that happened. When it comes to interpreting those facts, when it comes to what it all means, this guy is, Tony? You're letting me down, Tony.
A one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest?
Trite, but accurate. The man is clueless. Let's just put it that way. And, I don't know, something tells me that this convention was full of quite a few more people. Clueless individuals.
That have never picked up a book in a day in their life, never mind read a Lovecraft.
Right, and in case anybody misses my point, yes, this is what I'm criticizing. Not if you like to dress up in tentacles, that's fine. If you like to watch the movies based on Lovecraft, even though there's no good ones except Reanimator, that's fine. Role-playing games, good. But I just have a problem with people who say they're fans of Lovecraft who have never read his stories.
And the only character they can come up with is Cthulhu.
It's Cthulhu. Right.
Right.
Exactly. Kind of like people that are Ramones fans, but they only know I Want to Be Sedated. Kind of like Christians who profess to be Christians, but they have never read the Bible. You get the idea. These are the people, these are the Lovecraft followers who I despise. And I really wish that, some conjured up, fanged, unspeakable thing would rip them to shreds.
How about we do Lovecraft justice and Dagon rips them to shreds?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. No, I know remember when I used to work for that other internet radio station?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't let me conduct a black mass or any raisings in the studio. I don't think, actually, this is my studio. I just realized that. Yeah, we can do that here.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I think on the air we should conjure up a Lovecraftian creature.
There you go.
And send them after all these people who we despise the most.
We're in West Warwick. That shouldn't be too hard. To walk out the front door over here.
They'll flock to you.
Actually, what will flock to us here in West Warwick is, they'll hear the magical incantation and they'll think that we're giving handouts, and we'll basically have a bunch of crackheads.
They'll still do your bidding.
Well, if we're going to pay them in crack, yeah.
Well, we've personally wandered into West Warwick Fetish Night. I'm sure there's something we can conjure up over there.
Oh, God, yeah, you can.
I think the creatures at Fetish Night have already been conjured, I think.
And one of them does look like Cthulhu with their cracking whips and their tentacles and their blobous forms.
Hey, there's nothing better than meeting some of your mom's high school friends at a fetish night.
Tell your mother I said hi.
I will.
No, it's all about... let's not go there. We're talking about Lovecraft. Although he would probably get a big kick out of something like that,
Oh, yeah. Again, material for stories.
Oh, definitely. He'd be like, I fit inside here. I'm not a weirdo anymore. I thought my fetish was weird.
Although Lovecraft's fetish tended more toward...
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. Now, S.T. Joshi and other Lovecraft scholars, and I won't bash him this time because he made the point, which is wrong, but he made a point that Lovecraft was a non-sexual human being. In other words, he never wrote about sex. He wasn't interested in sex. He just had, which I guess makes him a freak in the United States in the 20th century. I guess that's the point. But apparently, if you read his stories, as Caitlin Kiernan, another prominent author with more talent than S.T. Joshi, has pointed out, if you read Lovecraft's stories, every one of those stories is about some kind of perverted sex. It's just, sometimes it's not always obvious.
It's hidden.
It's hidden, and sometimes it's not so hidden. I mean, the Shadow of Rinsmith, those amphibian fish frogs, it's not hidden, it's right on the surface that the diabolical bargain struck between Captain Marsh and those fish frogs that bring them to the United States is that, yes, you'll give them tribute, yes, you'll offer them human sacrifice, and yes, you will also have sex